We begin in the Middle East, where Israel's Prime Minister has promised he will do everything to restore security at its northern border with Lebanon. That's after the Israeli Defense Forces launched airstrikes against Hezbollah. Israel says it identified preparations for a large-scale attack. Now, these pictures just released by the IDF show them attacking a number of Hezbollah targets. Israel's defense minister has issued a 48-hour state of emergency in the country. Now, meanwhile, Hezbollah said it launched more than 300 rockets and drones at Israel and targeted 11 military sites in response to the killing of its top commander in Beirut last month. The group has said this was an initial response and that it has completed phase 1 of an attack on Israel. These are live pictures from the Israel-Lebanon border, which has had a number of missile strikes in the last couple of hours, and this was the IDF's announcement earlier from IDF spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari.
From right next to the homes of Lebanese civilians in the south of Lebanon, we can see that Hezbollah is preparing to launch an extensive attack on Israel, while endangering the Lebanese civilians. We warn the civilians located in the areas where Hezbollah is operating to move out of harm's way immediately for their own safety. Hezbollah's ongoing aggression risks dragging the people of Lebanon, the people of Israel, and the whole region into a wider escalation. Israel will not tolerate Hezbollah's attacks on our civilians. We are operating in self-defense from Hezbollah and any other enemy that joins in their attacks against us. And we are ready to do everything we need to defend the people of Israel.
That was the IDF spokesperson Daniel Hagari. Well, meanwhile, the Pentagon has said in its words the U.S. is postured to support Israel, and the President, Joe Biden, has instructed officials to maintain close communication on developments. Well, Laura Blumenfield is a Middle East analyst and former senior policy advisor on the State Department's Israeli-Palestinian negotiating team. She told us more about the strikes and reactions from both parties.
The Israelis have called for a 48-hour period of emergency. Their Secretary of Defense, their Defense Minister Gallant, is calling on the population. So it's not just one night, one and done. On the other hand, so much about these exchanges since October 7th has been not so much about being strong, but being smart. And so it's kind of our intelligence versus your intelligence kind of battle here. The Israelis were clearly caught by surprise on October 7th. The Shukr assassination was an intelligence coup for Israel, as was the Haniya assassination in Tehran. So I think Hezbollah is feeling like they need to show that they can in some way penetrate and kind of shift that kind of dignity back into balance. It's possible that, they already have, it's horrible to say, but wounded one person in Akka, which is quite deep into Israeli territory, that might satisfy the need, for publicly saving face.
Now, also, just one update for you. The Lebanese ministry, according to news agencies as well as local reports, is saying that one died in the Israeli strike in the south of Lebanon. Our news correspondent, John Donnison, is in Jerusalem, and he told us about the fears of escalations in the region.
This is clearly a significant and ongoing escalation. We're not at the point of full-scale war yet, but that is clearly the fear not just here in Israel, but in Lebanon and the wider region. Israel saying around 100 fighter jets were used in this operation last night, hitting around 200 targets in Lebanon. Now, if that's the case, then that is the most serious attack on Hezbollah since the full-scale war between Israel and Lebanon back in 2006. Now, in the last few weeks, we've seen intense diplomatic efforts to try and stop the crisis in Gaza escalating into a wider regional conflict. But the United States has warned that the failure to get a ceasefire and hostage release deal in Gaza could see this escalate into a wider regional conflict. At the moment, judging on what's happened this morning, you'd have to say that those diplomatic efforts have not worked.
And John, Hezbollah has said that this was in response to the killing of its top commander, Fuad Shukr, on the 30th of July. Of course, there's also the fact that Ismail Haniyeh was assassinated in Iran, and that Iran, which backs Hezbollah, also vowed a strong response. I wonder whether, putting all of this into context, can we see this as tit for tat, or is there the real risk that this could meet further responses from Hezbollah as well as Iran?
Well, I think tit for tat kind of downplays the significance of this. You know, when Israel is believed to have assassinated the leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, in Tehran, the day before they had assassinated, as you say, a very senior Hezbollah commander in Lebanon, Fuad Shukr, and we have been waiting for some sort of response from Iran and from Hezbollah. Now, in the past few weeks, that response has not really come. There has been some cross-border activity between Hezbollah and Israel in the north, but not really significant until this morning. And we've not had any kind of response from Iran to the targeting of Ismail Haniyeh inside the Iranian capital. So the fears have been for the last few weeks that that response was coming, and certainly from the north, from Hezbollah, we've got something this morning.
And John, you're in Jerusalem. We've been hearing these reports of sirens that have been blaring in Israel as well in certain cities. I wonder what your assessment is of the security situation in Israel, especially given that the New York Times is reporting that this attack by Hezbollah was also aiming Tel Aviv.
Yeah, and of course, Tel Aviv is deep into Israel. It's in central Israel, really. So that would be hugely significant if they managed to penetrate Israel's missile defense system. Here in Jerusalem this morning, I have to say it feels relatively normal. I'm sure lots of people will be waking up and reading the news and have concerns. We did see some military helicopters flying across the sky earlier this morning, some heading north. But certainly in Jerusalem, it feels relatively normal at the moment.
Well, a reminder, you'll see a QR code on your screen that will take you to our BBC News Live page on our website and app, where our correspondents are providing updates and analysis. Our BBC Newsroom is also bringing in any reaction and information as it comes. In the meantime, here on the news channel, let's speak to our senior international correspondent who's in southern Lebanon. That's Orla Guerin. Orla, good to have you. Now, given all your experience and your time there, could you put this into perspective for us? Because the New York Times is reporting that Tel Aviv was a target. We know that Ben Gurion is now open, the international airport is open. But when you look back at this war, how significant an escalation is this?
Well, we know that the Israelis are saying Tel Aviv would have been targeted, but that didn't actually happen because of their preemptive strike. We're certainly in a new stage as a day. We had been expecting this retaliation for some time now. It was at the end of last month that an Israeli strike killed a top Hezbollah commander, Fuad Shukr, in the heart of Hezbollah's stronghold in southern Beirut, a place called Dahia. And Hezbollah had vowed it would respond. Now, similarly, the Iranians had vowed they would respond for the assassination of the Hamas leader, Ismail Haniyeh, in Tehran. Both had held off, and the feeling had been that they were waiting to see how the ceasefire attempts being led by the Americans and the Egyptians and the Qataris would play out. Well, certainly Hezbollah is waiting no more. They said in a statement this morning that this was the first phase of a large-scale operation, and that its full response would take some time, and that the punishment will be harsh and severe. Now, I think we need to look carefully at the targets that were hit by Hezbollah today so far. They were 11 military.
Okay, shalom, shalom. Shalom means peace in the ancient Hebrew. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, Barakathum. Double honors and blessings for the apostles and the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well and teach us this truth in the spirit and truth of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. I want to say Tawada Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai for putting the Ruach Kodash, the spirit on me to do this lesson, to magnify and glorify his name and his word, which is the prophecy as found in the Holy Scriptures. Shalom to the 144,000 elect of the nation of Israel, the hopeful elect right now, and the 1/3 hopeful elect, the men, women, and children that are scattered abroad. Okay, because as we know, it's all about the elect. My name is Aria Al Yahawada of GMS Hawaii. Salakia, coming at you with another video, another lesson on prophecy, and Lord willing, this lesson will be edified. Every time I say the word prophecy, I think of Elder Apostle Gabar, of course, and Tahar, when they say we have to do more lessons on prophecy, you know, and I'm always reminding myself when I do lessons, do a lesson on prophecy, do a lesson on prophecy, because we're living in a time of prophecy. Prophecy is being fulfilled. Prophecy is speaking. And what inspired me to do this video, let me bring this up real quick. Got to go to another page. What inspired me to do this video is I usually go to Samsung News when I'm looking for lessons. It's a free app that's on my phone, and I went to Samsung News earlier this afternoon to look for a lesson to do, and I saw this: a year from October 7th, tens of thousands dead, and fears of a forever war. And when I read that word war, the first precept that popped up in my mind was, I'm gonna bring it up right now, was Matthew. The book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse, I'll just start from verse, the point is in verse 6. So I'll just start from verse 3, Matthew 24, verse 3. And as he, and that he is Yahweh Shai, because as I said, we're living in prophetic times. We're living in times where prophecy is speaking, and it is our duty as the hopeful elect, as watchmen for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, it's our duty to report these things. You know, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, he puts the spirit on us, and as I felt he did on me this afternoon, and that's why I'm doing this lesson. So that's why I say again, the water, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Ruach Kodash, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson, and Lord willing, this lesson will be edifying to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. Because when these prophecies come out like this, as they're being fulfilled, this is an indication that we are near the end, which I'm going to go into in Matthew 24. So I'm going to start at verse 3. And as he, that he is Yahweh Shai, sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And check this out. And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And verse 4, and Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. Okay? For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. Now here's the point. Let me underline it. Salakia. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Be not troubled. This is one of those wars that Yahweh Shai was speaking of. The video I was just showing. Israel launches strikes in Lebanon and Hezbollah. This is one of those wars Yahweh Shai was speaking of over 2,000 years ago. Prophecy. Because Yahweh Shai was what? Not only was he the son of the Most High, the only begotten son, but he was a prophet. And what do prophets do? They prophesy. You know? And what is that? Let's see, what does that word prophesy mean? Let's get the definition of that. Prophesy. Let's go to the etymology online dictionary. He was prophesying over 2,000 years ago. Imagine that. Yahushua prophesied this over 2,000 years ago, and here we are today, October 2024, and that prophecy is coming true. Let me see. Prophesy. Let's see what the word prophesy means. Circa 1200, prophesy, the function of a prophet. And Lord willing, we're those men, we're those same prophets of old. We're doing the same work that Yahushua did, that as prophet Isaiah did, the prophet Jeremiah did, Ezekiel, and so Yahushua, and so forth and so on. The function of a prophet, inspired utterance. Inspired by who? The Heavenly Father. The prediction of future events. See? The prediction of future events. So Yahushua, over 2,000 years ago, roughly 2,000 years ago, in Matthew chapter 24, on the Mount of Olives, he prophesied this. Okay? Under the spirit of Yahweh, the Heavenly Father. It says the prediction of future events from old French prophecy and directly from late Latin prophetia. See, they got a lot on this, so you can read the rest of it. Definition of the word prophecy is deep, meaning things spoken or written by a prophet. So that's the definition of prophecy, and that's what Yahushua did. Let's go back to the precept. Over 2,000 years ago, proving he was what? He was a prophet. And we do the same thing Yahushua did. We prophesy. Let's get another precept. Just came to me. Old Testament, Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse... Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me, the prophets of old, Jeremiah was one, Ezekiel was one, Ezra was one, and so on and so forth. King David was a prophet. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And Lord willing, we're those same prophets doing the same thing in the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. NLT says, the ancient prophets who preceded you and me spoke against many nations. And the number one nation we speak against, of course, is Babylon the Great, Esau, Edom, it's called in the Bible, always warning of war, disaster, and disease. See? So there it is. What else can I say? Or what else can the Lord say through me? Let's go back to the book of Matthew, chapter 24. And I left off on verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. See all these wars that's going on in the Middle East, they call it. Israel launches strikes in Lebanon, and Hezbollah fires rockets. These things are part of prophecy. And all these things, all these prophecies coming true are going to lead. I want to let the rest of this video play. See, look at that, Middle East escalation. Middle East escalation. And it's all escalating to what? What is all these little wars leading to? Well, I can't say little because lives are being lost. So none of these wars are little. It's all leading to what? Let's go to Revelation chapter 11 and verse, I believe is verse 14. Yep, all these wars, all these prophecies, wars and rumors of wars that are coming true, they are all leading to what? To World War III. And ultimately the destruction of this place, Babylon the Great. The second, Revelation 11:14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe, third world war, cometh quickly. NLT, the second terror is past, See, he refers to war as terror. But look, the third terror, the third war is coming quickly. And these are the times we're living in. And by these prophecies coming true, it shows and proves that we are living in the last days of Esau's kingdom. Okay, the last days of his rulership. I got another precept to back that up. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 6. 2nd Ezra. Man, we had an awesome camp yesterday. Still on my mind. Still feel I can still feel the vibration from camp yesterday. You know, it was man, the spirit was on us heavy. We was bringing out some stuff. If you haven't seen that camp, GMS Hawaii camp yesterday, subscribe, be edified, and it was just awesome. You know, not to jump off subject, but there are always, I like to say this real quick, there are always moments when we go to camp where we really, I mean, we always feel the spirit. I don't want to take nothing away from that. But there are always moments when we're at camp, and all the brothers that go to camp can relate to what I'm saying. The apostles, start from the apostles and elders on down. When we're at camp, out on the street corners, in the parking lots and what have you, there are always those moments where the spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh from Yahweh B'Shem Shai peaks. And it's just at a high level where we can literally feel it in our bones. You know, we can feel the presence of the angels. Psalm 34:7, the angel of the Lord encampeth around those that fear him. And yesterday was one of those camps that'll always stand out to me, especially towards the end, you know. And man, you can hear it in our voice. And you can feel it. We could just feel the spirit of the Lord just beaming down on us. And yesterday was one of those days. I just wanted to put that in. 2nd Ezra 6 verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world. We're living in the end of Esau's rulership. Esau, the so-called white man. And Jacob, the kingdom of Yahweh B'Shem Shai, is the beginning of it that followeth. So once this world, Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, is destroyed by nuclear weapons and by the chariots of the Lord, led by our big brother Yahweh Shai, the kingdom of Yahweh B'Shem Shai is gonna come in and take over. Esau is the end of the world. We're living in the end of his rulership. You see? So, just wanted to bring that out. As I said, all this is going to lead to the second, or rather the third Salakia World War. I'm going to let this video finish out. Middle East escalation prophecy is being fulfilled, okay?
Military targets inside Israel. So not critical infrastructure, not civilian areas, but military targets. This is according to Hezbollah.
And remember, Yahweh Shai, I just read the precept, Yahweh Shai prophesied about this more than 2,000 years ago. Matthew 24 verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. This is the wars he was speaking of over 2,000 years ago. Wars and rumors of wars. Now, the rumors of wars is speaking about, you know, there's going to be a war between Russia and the United States and so forth and so on. Those are the rumors, but those rumors are going to come true. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. These things must happen. See? What else it says? I'm reading from my little computer. Matter of fact, you know what? I'll just go to Matthew. What am I doing? Let me go to, let me finish reading this precept. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. And then I'm going to close it out. I'm not going to be on too much longer. I just wanted the Lord willing hit the points and let it be edifying. No, Matthew 6. Matthew, where I want to get to is in my head, but my hand is not moving fast enough. Matthew 24, verse 6. Salakia. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. That's right. When we see these and hear these things, Yahweh Shai said, don't be troubled, for all these things must come to pass. but the end is not yet. See, these things must happen. Prophecy must be fulfilled, but the end is not yet. See verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. See, things are going to get a whole lot worse. We're in the beginning of Jacob's trouble. That's going to ramp up. Famine of the word, that's going to ramp up. You know, the MOTB, the RFID, that's going to ramp up. And then I'm going to go to verse 30 and 31. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man, Yahushai, in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming. People are going to see Yahushai when he cracked those skies, coming in the clouds, the chariots of heaven with power and great glory. People are going to see that. Not only are people going to see him when he cracked those skies with power and great glory on the chariots, with all the myriads and myriads, an armada of angels and chariots. There's going to be so many chariots, so-called UFOs, that the sky is going to be darkened. Picture that. And people are going to see the chariots, see Yahushai with their mind, their physical eye, their mental eye. And not only are they going to see him physically with the chariots, they're going to feel that vibration, that powerful vibration of the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And they're going to be afraid. That's why it says, where is it at? And all the tribes of the earth shall mourn. Because when people see Yahushai and they see those chariots and they feel that vibration, they're going to be afraid. They're going to start crying. Men and women are going to start, just having heart attacks, pissing on themselves and what have you, because that fear, that vibration of power is going to be an indication that all the wickedness, you cigarette smokers, you fucking scoffers, you mouth breathers out there, you black women that's always running your damn mouth, you're going to see and feel that fear, and you're going to know time is up. The game is over. All your bullshitting is done. It's a wrap. Game over. Fourth quarter, game over. The clock has come down to zero, and the one we have been heralding to come and clean this place up and destroy the wicked and deliver the elect, our big brother, our Lord and Savior, Yahushai, he's here. Now he's finally is here. And he's going to bring an end to all your bullshit and deliver the elect. And Lord willing, Baba Kashai, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, those of us who do these lessons, those of us who go out on the highways and byways, in the street corners, and the parking lots, and risk life and limb doing this work, those of us who fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, Lord willing, Baba Kashai, we are those elect that's spoken of in Matthew chapter 24, verse 31, that Yahushai is going to collect from the four winds of the earth. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say on that. I was just inspired to do this lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. On to the next one. Lord willing, Shalom.